This is the plaintiff, Tiffany Scott. She says the defendant, her mother, owes her money for loans she made to her in 2015, won't pay her back, and mother or no mother, she's suing. Her mother's 56 years old. You'd think she'd know to do the right thing by her own flesh and blood and pay back her debts, but no. She has to go and force this into a court hearing. So here we go. She's suing for $2,486.23, the amount she's due. This is the defendant, Valora Barnes. She says her daughter, the plaintiff, bought her a car as a sign of appreciation for helping her out with her kids. And she's just sore she moved out of her house because she didn't want to live with her anymore. She's a 56-year-old woman who's tired of being disrespected by her rude daughter. She's not going to take the abuse any longer. And if her daughter doesn't like it, then too bad. She's accused of dissing a dutiful daughter. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff is suing her mom because she's a deadbeat and won't repay a loan. But the defendant says her daughter bought her a car as a gift. It's the case of my mother and the car.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Tiffany Scott, you are suing your mother, Valora Barnes, for $2,486.23 that you say she owes you for various items that you bought her, and you are counterclaiming against her $2,000 for pain and suffering. Talk to me.
Good morning. In September 2015, I started looking through Craigslist. I'm looking to buy myself a new vehicle. As I was doing so, my mother mentioned to me that she wanted a car as well. So I offered to pay for the vehicle up front, and she was going to pay me back in installments.
Okay. Was your mother living with you at the time?
She was, correct.
And how long was she living with you?
About 5 months.
Okay.
So I was leaving town in October, and because my mother was living with me, Philadelphia, I had to appear in court.
What for?
An incident that occurred over the summertime.
Criminal?
They would charge me with receiving stolen property for returning an iPad that I found on a counter at an enterprise.
So instead of turning it in so that its rightful owner could find it, you went to a store to return it, and you're shocked that you got charged with theft?
No. I went to the police station to return it and got charged.
Oh, I thought you went to a store to
return it.
No.
I couldn't find the owner of the iPad.
So you went to the police station to return it.
Yes.
And they claimed that you had stolen it.
Correct.
All right. So your mom is living there for 5 months. She says, I can't afford a car, but I'd like one now when you're buying one too. And you say, okay, and you buy her a car.
Correct.
Okay. And how many kids do you have?
4.
During the 5 months when she was living there, has she been helping you to take care of your kids?
Sure.
All right. According to you, you're fronting the money for the car, and then you were going to be leaving to take care of what you had to take care of.
Correct.
And what happened?
The Saturday before I was scheduled to leave, October the 19th. She left Saturday, which was October the 17th, at about 11:45 a.m.
And what precipitated her leaving?
I didn't even know she left. I was upstairs in the bathroom, came back out, car was gone.
And you have no idea why she left?
I have not spoken
to her. Okay, well, let's find
since.
out. What happened?
Hi. I got tired. I got tired of being controlled.
Why was she buying you a car?
As a gift for being there for her, for taking care of her kids, taking them back and forth to school. When she had to make trips to Philadelphia, I took care of those kids. I was there for her.
Okay. And then what happened? Why did you leave in the middle of this? Your daughter and your grandkids. Why didn't you say, listen, I'm leaving, this is why I'm leaving?
Tired of being disrespected.
I know you're tired of being disrespected, but had you, right, but that doesn't excuse not speaking afterwards and explaining things. You haven't talked to your daughter since then?
No.
Just, that's it? You just wrote off your grandkids and your daughter?
No, not with my grandkids.
Do you see your grandkids?
Mm-mm.
No, then I guess you did. I guess you did. I guess you just said, that's it, I'm tired, so nobody, I don't want anybody in my life anymore, I got a car.
No, didn't want nobody in my life. I got tired of being down-talked.
Saying what?
Talking about how I won't do things for her, how I'm putting her in bad positions and stuff, how I stole her life.
What was she saying was the reason she felt that you had stolen her life?
I'd like to know too. How do you steal somebody's life?
Everything she just said was a lie.
You didn't tell
That was
me
a
that?
whole lie. How did you steal my life?
That's what I want
Why
to
would
know,
I tell
Tiffany.
somebody you stole
Why
my
are you
life?
supposed
I
she
live a
left
very
then?
good
If everything
life.
was, look at me.
Would you sue your mother if she stiffed you on a $2,400 loan?
$2,400, it really depends, but I think I would. I think there should be a thing that we should respect each other, and to the point where money divides us. So
Money divides us as it should or shouldn't?
it should.
No?
No. I say no. Like, can you set up a?
$1,000.
No.
$10,000.
No.
$1 million.
Her more.
Oh, God. Going inside the courtroom.
This is not her first time leaving. This is not the first
How
time
long,
that she's done this.
and the prior times where she's taken off, how long has she been gone?
Oh, a couple months.
you
And
have
then she
siblings?
comes back. Yeah, I have 6 of us total, and none of them will take her in. So therefore, I take her in. Regardless of the past and everything she's done previously and all the other times she has skipped out on me, I continue to help her.
Who's the lady with you, moral support or a witness?
Yes, that's my friend.
That's your friend.
And she talks about like a dog.
All right, in any event, let's move on from this and let's talk about something else. Tell me about the rings you added this morning. Tell me about the jewelry.
There's jewelry that I've purchased for her and jewelry that I had throughout my house. Yes.
Okay. Can you
She
raise
was
your hands,
with me when I
please?
purchased the jewelry.
Is there anything there that came from her house?
From her house, no. When she goes to Philadelphia and California, she bought me 2 rings.
How do people get here?
Oh my goodness.
How do you get here? Come on up. Sorry to do this to you.
It's okay.
But I was just curious if you had any conversations with either of them regarding this at any point in time.
I've had a conversation with Tiffany. She called me when her mother left and asked me a bunch of questions about where she might be. And
Did you know where she
Did I
was?
know? At the time, I did not know.
When did you find out where she was?
I think she called me like 4 days late after Tiffany called me.
And so she calls you and tells you what?
She left the house because she was very upset with Tiffany, how Tiffany had been treating her, making her feel very uncomfortable and unwanted, basically, in the house. But other than that, like, I really.
She ever
don't know.
mention anything about the car?
She did. When Tiffany called me, she said that her mother had done some foul stuff to her, that she took the car that she bought her and left. And then I got a call. Someone called me and said they were a detective and that Tiffany claims that her mother took a car.
Did the
and it
police
had a
ever
whole
talk
bunch
to you?
Of her stuff.
Did the police ever talk to you?
No.
She's lying.
Do you work or don't you?
No, I'm at home. I'm disabled.
You don't work?
No, I don't work. And when I leave town, she leaves with me. So how is she watching my kids when I leave town? You leave town with me.
Well, unless
She's
you're
totally
going,
lying.
to court in Philadelphia, I guess.
Well, yeah,
because part of
that
what you're suing
incident,
for is
she was supposed to
you're
watch
suing
my
for an
kids.
airline ticket to go to court in Philadelphia. What
Right,
ended up
but
happening with that?
I couldn't go to court because she waited. I don't know if this was like premeditated, but from the looks of it, it appears that she had already been plotting this because as soon as I got the car running and everything was registered and in her name, then
oh, by
she
the way, I was
left.
going to ask that. Everything
Because-
was always in her name, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what did you end up, like, what's the status of your case in where did you say that was,
It's
Pennsylvania?
in Philadelphia.
What's the status of the case?
I probably have a warrant for my arrest. I probably do. She didn't watch my kids while I went to
It's
court.
not her fault you have a warrant. What have you done to clear up your warrant and your failure to appear in court for your case?
I had to pay a fine. I paid the fine, and I just had to appear in court.
And so there's
I
not...
shouldn't have a warrant. I hope I don't
Okay.
have a warrant.
Okay. But if you do, it wouldn't be her fault, right?
I think it's her fault.
Nope.
She skipped out on the Saturday, and I was scheduled to leave the court on Monday. So yeah, it is her fault.
Did you know that she was leaving to go to a court case the following day on the day that you left? 'Cause
Oh,
that's
yeah,
kind
I
of,
knew she was-
yeah, that's
I
kind of
knew she was
a
leaving.
mean thing to do to anybody, but to your own child, to put him in that position. You know what I mean?
That might look bad, what I did to her.
You always.
Nobody knows what I have been through. I'm tired of being...
That's fine that you're tired and that you want to put some separation, and that's great. But you could do it without leaving a train wreck behind you. Because, you set the example for how your daughter treats you. Because I'm watching it. I'm watching the whole thing unfold. You're complaining about it, but you do it too.
I went upstairs and I asked her, was she still leaving? And she said she wasn't going on the trip. I never lived with her. She would call me over and ask me if I could keep her children for her.
While she did what? She's not working. What was she doing?
Going to Philly.
To do what? To do what?
I didn't want to go there.
Please, because you go to Philly with me.
To do what?
The drugs.
Do them or sell them?
Sell them.
I'm a drug dealer.
Do you have any texts, any emails, anything at all to corroborate your version of how all of this went down? Anything between you two, anything?
As far as her and I?
Yeah, like, anything like you owe me the money for the car. Yeah, okay, I'll pay you later. Anything like that? Nothing?
No.
Did you ever call the police and tell them that she stole rings and a bracelet?
No. That's not all.
Miss Scott, here's where we are on this.
Okay.
First of all, let's start with your counterclaim against her. $2,000 for pain and suffering because you don't like your relationship with your daughter. That's not going to happen. You reap what you sow, and you've got some fault in this, whether you want to recognize it or not. So on your countersuit against her is 0. Your lawsuit against her is a little more complicated. You're suing for all of the expenses associated with a car that, according to you, you were fronting for her and not giving her as a gift. But you put it all in her name. It's all in her name from the get-go.
Right.
No, don't interrupt me. You've got an airline ticket for a flight that you decided not to take. You don't end up going to Philadelphia, and you want her to pay your $300 ticket. And then you've thrown in $500 in pain and suffering, which, of course, for the same reasons are gone. I have 0 to corroborate the way either of you are saying that this went down. You have your version. She has her version. There's not one scintilla of proof to prove it either one of your ways. The problem that you have is you're the plaintiff. And the plaintiff in every lawsuit is the one who has to prove to me by a preponderance of the evidence that it's the way you're saying. And if you fail to do that, then you don't win your case. And that's the situation we find ourselves in now. So in your lawsuit against her, I rule for her, not because I believe her, but because I don't know who to believe. And there's 0 evidence to tip the scale in your favor.
How? When I have all the receipts?
Well, the plaintiff came into court and told the story, but didn't really provide any evidence to prove anything. So what's your reaction to not getting what you sued for?
I don't know how I didn't provide any evidence, and I have it all right here. The money that I spent to purchase the car, the receipts for the mechanical work, everything is right here.
I know that doesn't prove she did anything wrong, though.
She didn't pay me back the money. She was supposed to pay me for the car.
Do you have it in writing? Did you get a note signed by the two of you, evidence like that?
It was a verbal agreement between her and I. I didn't think she was going to screw me out of my money.
Okay, follow Officer McIntosh this way. All right, so come on out here, and how painful is this?
I'll be okay. May God have mercy on her soul.
Why do you think she's suing you?
Anger.
About?
I don't know.
Harvey?
It's the oldest principle in the book if you sue a relative, risk, reward. I mean, that's what it's all about.